Spoiler ahead. So you've probably played fighting game story this year, MK1 or Street Fighter 6 maybe, but there's an abundance hype toward Tekken campaign, especially in the 8th installment of the franchise, which normally would be surprising. And that'd be from newcomer to casual fan and hardcore fan. I think at the answer of why there's all that amount of hype toward the story of this specific fighting game. I think it's because Tekken 8 has the best story in fighting game. And when I'm talking narrative, I'm talking about which story is the best kind of subjective, but I'm talking about the campaign, about playing it. And I'll explain why with comparing it to other fighting game stories that came out this year. First of all, the visual, and I'm not speaking about the graphic, but how it's visually shown. Most of the time, when fighting game make you play the story, they either just make you appear and do a fight against the opponent depending on the location, which is just fighting against an AI and that's it. And that's how most fighting game does it, their story, just like Mortal Kombat 1. There's the tutorial route you can go, like Street Fighter 6 where you fight against enemies that teach you fighting game mechanics such as punish and wake up or combo, or how to play with your character and then to do low or overhead. Then there's Tekken 8. Tekken 8 does multiple things. Tekken 8 does the tutorial story so that you can learn how to play with the character you find the coolest, which is called Arcade Quest. And then there's the in-game story that challenges you to fight against strong AI that try to push you to learn and defeat a character. Like, I've been playing Jin for years and in the last battle against Kazuya I was struggling. But they go even further beyond by adding motor control in the story. Now, motor control are a simple command that simplify a lot of actions as you don't have to spend hours in training mode to learn how to play with a character that you have to play with in the story. That does two great things. One is that if you're not adept in fighting game and want to experience the story, you'll get to without having your ass kicked or to spend hours and hours just to learn a character you don't really like. And the second thing is that after playing the campaign more the gameplay, you'll get to see a lot of characters do all those cool stuff, and that'll maybe make you think, hey, maybe after the story I want to learn how to do those things Taken online or with my friend. So either way, it does a great stuff to introduce new player or help out player that just don't want to learn some character. Also, playing the story will always look really sick, especially since some fight they do random slow-mo that happen mid gameplay that continue the story and just feel like you're not failure but part of the story as you fight. Which sometimes when you're fighting a certain fighting game story, you feel like the fight is just like a break in between the story. Another aspect that helped the story is that it doesn't feel like a movie. While you're experiencing the story of Tekken, when you play Mortal Kombat, it feels more like you're watching a movie. Like there's a slow start, the character having fun, and then they fight. It's like the creator are like, oh yeah, there's a player that needs to play the game and he's getting bored. While Tekken, the story involved the player more into it. Like it straight up started with an intense fight in the beginning, so it's part of the story that you're fighting. There's all those cinematics that increase the fight tension after every round and modify the fight, like you're starting in hate mode or the enemy begin with rage, or you start with less health or more health or you're in a corner. There's also quick time, not saying there's a solution to every game, but it help involve the player more in the game, in the cinematic, and help you get engaged. That's more subjective, but one of its great points is its focus. Most fighting game story will try to make you play with as much character as they can. Try to fit all the roster in the story so that at the end you have time to play with all of them. The issue is that you don't get to go more in depth in certain characters if you keep switching, story wise or gameplay wise. It also helps the game if you focus on the Shoto, the main character, because it make the new player like more the main character, which is like most of the time the cover of the game. But it'll help anyone get a skill for the character that is average in everything he does. That way, it can help more players find out what he's into in this fighting game, and it might end up helping him choosing a playstyle he likes most for himself. That he either try a new character, which end up being like maybe a grabber, or someone that's more of a range type or a faster character, or just stick with the main character, which is fine. Plus, it gives time to experience the gameplay in multiple scenarios as he progresses the story, which all in all is great stuff. Finally, I think one of its best features that this story really tried It really tried to hype you up or to make you sentimental or to make you care that you're new to this game or a long awaited fan. You can feel the hard work in the attempt to make you feel something. Like in Street Fighter 6, they try to make you feel sad about your OC friend in the game. Spoiler alert, but he dies. But really you ate pizza with him once. In MK1, this story tried to be more hype with the big wars going on. But most characters, even though they share the face with classic characters, they're new people and the emotion isn't quite there. But it's exciting, just it's not the big war finale you would want to install on people. But Tekken, it goes back to years and years of story and legacy built up. Each and every character you meet, they're still the same from previous game. So you can't help but wonder, man, I wish I could have found a way to play the previous game. And personally, I think that's one of the best feelings. Because those kind of feeling is the very reason that you go back and try to experience every game that came out, like Yakuza. I got into it in 0. Right now I just finished playing the 5th game. So in that aspect, I think Tekken 8 did a wonderful job. Anyway, those are the reasons why I think Tekken 8 is truly a phenomenal fighting game story. Now I might put down MK1 and Street Fighter 6 story while I was explaining Tekken 8. But to be honest, without comparing it to Tekken 8, both have fairly good story and function well to the way they wanted. Or intended, So yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe to not forget the channel. And until we see each other again, have a good day.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all.